Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And we are here at the gorgeous Hoboken High School, located at 800 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And today's show is sponsored by Rumble Boxing. Go visit our friends at 1202 Shipyard Lane and rumble at your own pace. And folks, the folks joining us today hopefully won't rumble me after all the questions that I have for them. And the first person is a Pulse, legend, I'm going to call her. I mean, this is now her third time on the show, and that is the principal here at Hoboken High, Robin Piccapietra. Miss Pick, great to see you again.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. And making his Pulse premiere today, and hopefully we'll see him back, unless he rumbles me, but different story for a different case, is school guidance counselor James Terry. I'm going to reach over. Great having you on the show. Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you. And can I tell you, the school is looking absolutely gorgeous. It's our first time here this year.
Thank you.
And I think a large part of why the school is looking so gorgeous is the Hoboken Public Education Foundation.
Yes.
I mean, they raise private funds to give to the Hoboken district schools, including the high school here.
Yes.
And many of the private funds, or some of the private funds that they are raising, go to college prep for high school students, correct? Yes. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get into that, I do want to remind the audience that the Hoboken Public Education Foundation is hosting a end-of-year online auction. We're going to put the QR code right on your screen. So make sure you donate to continue to give to all of these wonderful programs. So Ms. Pick, we're going to start with you.
Perfect.
Two of the programs that they funded are SAT and AP test prep.
Yes.
Can you discuss those programs and how they're benefiting the students?
Absolutely. So they've been very generous. So currently, I think our students just finished up with the first SAT prep course through Kaplan. And students, was it a 6-week course, Mr. Terry?
They got to come in for, 6 weeks, I believe it was, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings before school.
These were dedicated students, 7:15 to 8 a.m., 3 days a week.
I'm not up at
with
that time.
Sorry about that. 3 practice exams they took on Saturdays.
Oh my goodness. So it's going at it 6 days a week.
Yes. And they actually will be starting another one for the spring.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And the results. I think there's been a 200 for SAT, that is.
Yeah.
There's been a 200 point increase, correct?
Yes, in
because
our
of
SAT
this.
scores. Absolutely. You know, the SAT is an exam that you need to prepare for. And having the ability to do it right here in school is amazing. And it's an amazing opportunity. We offer 60 seats in the fall and 60 seats in the spring.
Wow.
And do you want me to continue with we also offer the AP prep.
Okay.
In the spring of the year, as all our students are getting ready to take the advanced placement courses. We offer over 21 courses at the high school in advanced placement. And they start that probably, I want to say March, April timeframe, and they have 2-hour blocks multiple times a week. They all get a Kaplan study guide, and our scores in AP, over 80% of our students are scoring 3 or better.
That's amazing. And again, advanced placement courses are obviously for college credit, correct?
Yes, they are.
So they already have a head start, Hoboken High students do, going into their first year of college.
With credits.
With credits. Amazing.
Absolutely.
And anytime you could save money, on credits in college trust me, I know people are still paying a lot of money off student loans and so on and so forth.
Without a doubt. It's just...
sorry, go ahead.
It's amazing.
Yep.
It's amazing to have that opportunity and the preparation that goes into it. Whether they get the college credit or they don't, they have sat in a college level course in high school, which is critical for their success.
No, absolutely. And now, Mr. Terry, we're going to come over to you because another activity that the foundation is funding are college tours. They've been now doing this for 5 years, and this is so important. So if you want to give us a little background about what specifically they are funding for the high school students in terms of college tours.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is no replication for being able to step foot on a campus and get a feel for the vibe and the environment. We're so fortunate, thanks to HPF, to offer more local tours. So in previous years, we've gone to schools like Villanova on day trips. We just went to Fordham University, Manhattan University. We've also done various field trips as well, and kind of smaller conferences, if you will. And then we do longer trips as well. So we've done overnight trips to Boston,
Wow.
Washington, D.C., and there we're able to fit in, 3 to 4 schools. So we're looking forward to going to Boston again in the spring.
And this is for, lower income students too, correct? That can't
Absolutely, yeah.
usually that families can't, afford to go up to Boston and
Right.
see, or out of, state schools to see these different universities,
Yep. Yeah,
correct?
absolutely. Yeah, we've been fortunate to bring about 28 students the last 2 years on those overnight trips. Again, giving them an opportunity to walk around not just the campuses, but the cities that they might be able to be staying in if they choose to go to those schools. So
No,
it's been quite an opportunity.
fantastic. And again, I just want to remind the audience about the end of year online auction that the Hoboken Public Education Foundation is having. It is now until December 31st. Please go on and visit and donate and bid on some absolutely wonderful items. We're going to move on back to you, Ms. Pick. We're going to talk about
Absolutely.
2 other activities that are being funded. We're going to first start with the E-Dynamic Career Lab, which we're going to put some B-roll up. This place is cool.
I
Talk to me
mean,
about it, Ms. Pick.
It takes a classroom and it brings whatever you're studying in that classroom to life. So thank you to the HPEF because they helped us build out this classroom and the stream from Bloomberg terminals to a ticker tape running across the front of the building in bright letters. It is amazing. And the students, along with that, we were able to offer a new course, Essentials of the Stock Market. And kids are loving that. I mean, they're not making money yet, but they're in their minds, they're making money, and some are losing money. But it's real life. It gives it such a feeling like as if we were sitting on the floor of Merrill Lynch or
Yeah.
JP Morgan.
That is amazing.
It is.
And hopefully it gives students, a sense of an idea of what they want to do,
Yeah.
possibly what they want to study rather,
It's
possibly in college.
exposure, right, Peter? The
100%.
more you can expose students to different types of colleges through the tours or different careers that exist outside of 4 years in high school, it just helps them make decisions and lights a fire in them.
Wonderful. And then the second one, Ms. Pick, is NEON.
Yes.
And I'll let you, explain what the
That's
acronym means.
Yes,
So
that's
go
the
ahead. Yeah.
National Equity Opportunity Network.
Mm.
So through this program, we are able to offer college level courses to our students who we enrolled 25 in the fall. They took the Intro to Business Management through Cornell University. I know. And then in the spring, they will be sitting for Intro to Personal Finance through Wharton School of Business.
Oh my goodness.
It's the opportunity of a lifetime. Even more importantly,
Yeah.
we had representatives come from the National Equity Opportunity Network to come sit in and watch our students in action while learning, because it's all done via computers, right? We don't have live instructors. They're doing it online. And they said the results in our school with our students were by and far some of the best they've ever seen.
That's amazing. And Mr. Terry, really quickly
Yeah.
here, a lot of these activities and these programs wouldn't be possible without the Education Foundation. And how do you think the students are taking this?
One of the things that we've heard from students is they love an opportunity to get more real world exposure or classes and experiences that are outside of your traditional, when you think of high school, you think of your math classes, science classes, etc. These are real life opportunities where they can learn things that might be a major that they might study in college or might be a career that they choose to pursue. And so it's really opportunities that we haven't been able to necessarily provide in the past, then now we're getting the opportunity to do so thanks to HPF. So it's been a great experience.
Absolutely. I'm going to say it one more time, folks, for you folks watching at home. They do have their end of year online auction. The QR code is on your screen going on between now and December 31st. Please make sure to visit what they have because all of the funds, every cent, goes to benefiting the district schools.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely. Well, James Terry, who is a school guidance counselor and, of course, Pulse legend, Principal Raman Piccapietra, we thank you so much for coming on. Absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And-
Allowing us.
Absolutely. And we hope to see you on a future show. I mean, right? We're going to get you a media credential.
Yes, we're going to need that tag.
There you go.
Exactly. Thanks again.
Thank you
guys.
very much.
Appreciate it. All right, folks. We will be right back. Peter Biancamano here, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to follow and like our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok pages. We're constantly updating those platforms with cool stories and awesome reels. Also, you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we post all of our full shows, and you can also binge watch all of our previous episodes. And if you would like to contact us, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com. We'll see you there. Welcome back to the Pulse with Peter B. And folks, we have a very special guest today, and that is the Executive Director of New Jersey Appleseed, Renée Steinhagen, making her Pulse premiere. Renée, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We're so glad to have you on. We've had your colleague Cheryl Fallick on plenty of shows in the past. And as I mentioned, we're just very, very happy you're here. So, Renée, I think it's important that we start out by talking about New Jersey Appleseed's background. I was wondering if you can give the audience some information on that.
Well, New Jersey Appleseed Public Interest Law Center was established in the late 1990s, co-founded with a man named Arthur Kanoy, who was one of the founders of the Center for Constitutional Rights. It's a Ralph Nader associated organization, and so we look to do government accountability, fill in gaps, and further policy to improve the quality of life of New Jersey residents.
That is fantastic. And talk to us about some of your accomplishments. I know the End MedDed book is certainly one of them, but there's plenty.
Well, I'm going to stick to very recent. We helped establish an organization called Voter Choice New Jersey, which is trying to advance ranked choice voting in New Jersey. We are particularly interested in enhancing it for municipalities, that you could use ranked choice voting for all local elections. So in the past year, we've expanded the municipalities who have passed resolutions to approve ranked choice voting, meaning that they are saying that once the state bill gets passed, these municipalities will adopt ranked choice voting for all their local elections. Jersey City, Hoboken, Maplewood, Montclair, South Orange, Princeton, South Brunswick, Red Bank, and most recently Collinswood. We also do work in supporting litigation that affects systemic issues. We did an amicus in the appellate division on behalf of a rent-protected tenant who was living in a condo that had converted, and he was facing eviction due to increases in alleged hardship waiver. And we filed an amicus explaining that such tenants need to be protected, and the lower court decision was overturned, and he has been able to remain in his home. Most recently, we filed a complaint in Superior Court on behalf of a grassroots organization in Newark called Homes for All Newark, regarding there was an approval of a project, a massive project in the Ironbound area, and they were appealing the approval. And we had alleged certain procedural violations as well as substantive violations, and the procedural violations were found correct, and it was remanded. And just last night, we were beginning to put on our case and intervene.
That's just many of the accomplishments. And Renée, I guess my question is the funding for all to continue to do all these wonderful accomplishments that you guys. Where does that funding normally come from?
Well, the funding has historically come from, more recently we're trying to get grants, but it comes from legal fees and it comes from individual donations.
That's amazing. That really, really is. And it's all for making people's lives better at home.
Well, we're hoping to make people's lives better and giving a voice, though that's somewhat of a cliche now, but when we created it in the 1990s, it was relatively new, of giving a voice to people who otherwise don't get listened to.
Absolutely, giving people a voice while getting others to listen. I've seen your slogan multiple times. So moving on now to the Medical Debt and Billing Handbook. As mentioned, we did have your colleague Cheryl Fallick on discussing the first two chapters, which are the rights of insured and the rights of uninsured patients. The handbook is 4 chapters long, and we do want to cover chapters 3 and 4, which is on billing and collections. I think we first need to begin with billing.
There's a fifth chapter, by the way.
There is? What's the fifth chapter? Sorry.
The fifth chapter is on defending yourself in court.
Oh, goodness gracious, see that?
So
My apologies. I'm sorry about that.
That's
I thought it
fine.
was
I
only
don't
four.
think that's where we want to prevent people from going.
Okay, good.
So the issue is, read the first 4 chapters, and then you won't end up in the 5th chapter.
Amen to that. Thank you. I'm sorry about that.
No.
But we are going to cover billing and collections. Let's first start with billing. I think the first step in this is, how do people understand their bill? What advice would you give them?
Well, we want you have to know what to look for so you can avoid unnecessary stress and surprises. The first thing you need to know really is the difference between a medical bill and an explanation of benefits, right? The bill comes from your doctor, your hospital, a provider, and it's telling you what your service is, what you're being charged. It also should show you what the insurance might cover. But the explanation of benefits comes from your insurer, and it's not a bill. It shows what the provider billed them and what they paid and what you still owe.
Wow, unbelievable. And now, moving on to collections, I mean, if somebody gets a bill for, I'm sorry, continue. Yeah, please,
I
absolutely.
want to give people a little bit more advice here.
Absolutely.
When you get the bill, open it up right away and check. Make sure that the services you got, you didn't, make sure services are not on there that you didn't receive. Any duplicate charges, correct dates and procedure codes, and insurance or payment information. If you believe there's an error, you really have to ask your doctor to fix it.
Wow.
If your insurer denies coverage, you can appeal that to the New Jersey Independent Healthcare Appeals Program. And there are issues for if you're uninsured and you get a bill and you think it's a mistake or it's unfair, you can file a complaint with the New Jersey Division of Consumer Affairs. And if you're uninsured, the federal law also says you have a right to a good faith estimate before care. And once you get your bill, you should compare it to the estimate, because if it's differential of $400, if it's higher, you can dispute that.
Perfect. That is all great news. I'm sorry to interrupt you with that one. Collections. So I'm a person that when I get a high medical bill in the mail, I get extremely nervous, Renee. I mean, it's like, oh my God, am I going to be in med debt and so on and so forth. You're here to tell me I'm not, if I follow what procedures and advice?
Well, if you cannot pay the bill right away, this is assuming the bill is correct.
Right.
Either the healthcare provider or the healthcare provider might sell your debt to a collector. Has to offer you a monthly installment plan. Okay? Debt collectors can only come after you if you decline the plan.
Interesting.
If you agree to it and at some point you stop making the plan payments, they can come after you, but they have to give you a 60-day grace period from the time that you did not make that payment. And they cannot bill you if you're having a dispute with your insurance company until that's resolved. And in either of those cases, they cannot bill you until 120 days after the first bill for the medical service.
Not many people know this, and that's why the End Medical Debt and Billing Handbook is so important. And organizations like Renée's and New Jersey Appleseed is trying to educate you on this. So I can't recommend enough you reading the handbook, which is on the website, endmeddebtnj.com, I believe.
That's correct.
And also .org, if I'm not mistaken. I think you have both of those handles. If I'm not, if not, it's definitely .com. Renée, laws are changing. So probably since you wrote you were one of the co-writers of the handbook, from what I understand. Probably since you wrote the handbook, laws have changed. What has changed since then?
Well, there was a great law passed in New Jersey that if you do have a medical debt, that it can't be reported, credit reporting. And if they do report it, credit, the debt becomes void.
Wow.
That was also pursuant to a regulation. The Consumer Finance Protection Bureau also made that unlawful. Well, the Trump administration came in, and one of the first things, not the first thing, but if you're paying attention, as they've been dismantling the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, they eliminated the regulation that gave you this right under federal law. So I just want to say that will have to be changed in the medical book. But as of now, we still have it in New Jersey.
Wow.
However, the Trump administration Consumer Finance Bureau, issued a new advisory opinion saying that the federal law will preempt this area, and so the states cannot pass their own laws in this area. That it's just an advisory, but it's a regulation, an advisory opinion. But in the state of Colorado, some credit reporting companies have already sued. So that's an important issue. Hopefully our New Jersey Attorney General will submit what we call an amicus brief. And with other states that have taken protective action greater than or at one time equal to the federal government's protection, they will prevail and the states will be allowed to continue to protect their consumers in this area of law.
Unbelievable. Well, we are out of time. Renée Steinhagen, who is the Executive Director of New Jersey Appleseed. Is there anything you want to add before?
Yeah, there's one other change that I
sure.
think we should make everybody aware of. The Trump administration is also spending a tremendous amount of effort to ensure that undocumented immigrants do not get health care or any benefits such as food, SNAP, etc. And they've made proposals that would in effect make it very difficult for, in New Jersey, in our book, is very clear that the federally qualified healthcare providers can provide medical services to anybody in New Jersey, regardless of immigration status. And so we're on our tenterhooks to determine whether they will be defunded in a way that will no longer, unless they stop servicing undocumented.
Okay. Well, look, I mean, New Jersey Appleseed is a wealth of information, and we're really, really happy that you came on the program today to share your knowledge. I mean, because there's a lot of people watching at home who could use this useful information. Is there anywhere where they can get more information?
Well, on the website, there are currently, I believe, 2 videos posted.
Perfect.
One of which is much more detailed on how to understand your medical bill. And in the next 2 months, we will have 2 more videos, one which will be how you can get financial assistance if needed for medical services, and the other will be on collection.
And again, that's endmeddebtnj.com. We'll put that up on your screen at home. Renée, thank you so much for coming in. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Renée Steinhagen, Executive Director of New Jersey Appleseed. We hope to see you soon. Thank you again. All right, folks, we will be right back. Peter Biancamano back with you. Folks, we have a new television home. After being on cable access for so long, we are now strictly on streaming. So download the Surge Sports and Entertainment TV app on your Roku TV or your Amazon Fire TV and catch our new episodes every Sunday at 9 a.m. We will see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B. And folks, as we've done in the last 2 months, we are going to head back to the offices of Hudson River Care and Counseling, where our mental health expert, and of course, that is the founder and CEO, Dr. Pam Pater-Ennis, is standing by with Dr. Monica Chambers Lawrence and Rebecca Ennis-Paez, who was on the show last month, of course, and of course is Dr. Pam's daughter. And they are going to be talking about mental health needs of spouses and partners of veterans. And folks, we're super excited about this segment because with the holiday seasons upon us, we do want to make sure that our veterans are always taken care of and, of course, their families. So without further ado, let's send it out to Dr. Pam. Dr. Pam, take it away.
Hi, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah from Hudson River Care and Counseling. I'm Dr. Pam Ennis, who's the founder and CEO of Hudson River Care and Counseling. And with me today are Rebecca Ennis-Paez, who is an LSW, and Dr. Monica Lawrence Chambers, who is a nurse practitioner student, but she's already got so many degrees. So she's here and she's going to be able to prescribe for us eventually, hopefully by next summer. So anyway, Monica and Rebecca are working together on doing a spousal support group for military spouses. And they both have lived experience of being spouses of vets. So tell me, no particular order either one of you, like, maybe a little bit of your lived experience as a spouse, and why do you think this is important? And then what are the services going to look like?
Excellent. Well, it's been a wonderful journey, but I personally was married to a military gentleman. Actually, it can be the support that's needed because we too take on some of the struggles with being a military vet. And how can we support those spouses that would be going through the same possible things that many of the enlisted persons go through? And how can we support them? Because we're sometimes not supported as much. And when the struggles, when they come home from deployment, how do we pick up the pieces once that's also
and reintegrate into a relationship?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What is your experience of that, Rebecca?
Yes, so I think when I finally realized spouses need further support, as I was in school and one of my classmates who was also in social work, I was sharing stories and talking with him, and we were supporting each other. He was actually the vet and I was the spouse. It was a very interesting conversation. And he finally said to me, Rebecca, it's okay to feel your feelings. You are a vet too in many ways. And I think that concretely that day, I knew, I didn't know how it was going to look. And this was a couple of years ago already, but I knew that I had to provide more support for spouses because often our soldiers, like my own experience, comes home with PTSD. And, you know, as a counselor, even it's very uncomfortable and almost scary to see someone disassociate in the way they are and start saying very uncomfortable words, but knowing, and you know, as a social worker, I know that it wasn't directed at me, but then when they come back and not even sure where they have been or where they were and don't even know how they got into a certain particular room, it can be very alarming. Especially for your children if you have them. So as a social worker and as a former, retired military spouse and a mother, I know that it's our mission to help not only support but offer therapy services to spouses of
Thank
military.
you. That's very poignant. And if we had more time, you could tell more of your stories. But Monica, what is your experience of when your husband returned home?
I was always fearful of what the dynamics would look like.
And there were multiple deployments?
There were multiple deployments. In actuality, it was almost like I didn't know the person anymore. The person that I married,
the person you fell in love with,
the first person I fell in love with actually was changed. And I needed support that I didn't know I needed. But I want to be able to offer those avenues to spouses to help to support them through the transition, even when they retire, how that affects the household, and reconnecting and making sure that we are there for the person that was in the military, but that we have someone there for us as well.
Yeah, thank you. And you really have to almost have it's almost like having a new marriage or a new relationship when they come back, and that's true. That is very alarming.
Keep reinventing the wheel. And then if you have children, it's probably even that much more complicated to help go back into a co-parenting mode from being a single parent.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what do you think, even if it wasn't your own lived experiences, but what do you think are the array of services that when we're going to start advertising this group soon, this support group for military spouses, what if we were to just encourage people to come, what are the services that we can offer to them, do you think?
Wellness, induction to how can you assist yourself with being mentally well when that deployment and return home happens. Also, what are the positive things and aspects that you see with what your spouse is actually doing for the military? And how can that help you relate to what they're going through? Because it is very important. We don't understand the military. We even never went through basic training. No. And so being empathetic to those situations is extremely important. And so finding that support. for us to be able to relate and communicate
So
effectively.
it's really developing or redeveloping empathy skills when people are angry or hurt
Absolutely.
by the PTSD responses.
Absolutely.
I think also including your spouse back into your life, because it's so easy. And I know I really struggled with this also, having, at that point, I had a 2-month-old when he came back from deployment. And literally I was feeding, and like it was like clockwork. I knew exactly how to do it on my own. But then that took a lot for me to realize, okay, part of we definitely had other dynamics that we had to work through, but one of them being allowing him to learn the routine.
Right.
Even
to
if
share it.
To share it, because for 2 months I did it on my own, and to not be afraid that maybe he literally didn't know how to change a diaper, and to show him and not be, allow him room for mistakes and not poke fun, and frustration. I know we're all guilty of doing that. Mm-hmm. And that was really challenging.
Well, thank you. And I know, just real quickly, do you guys have a time when you're starting the group yet?
We plan to start it, I think, in the next 4 weeks, early November.
In time for Veterans Day.
In time for Veterans Day. And also to allow a closed group for short term to see how it goes. And then potentially
like a pilot group.
Yes, that's a good way to look at it. And then hopefully in the early winter or spring even have a longer term.
Okay,
group
to restart.
To restart.
Maybe do it in chunks of time, and then start it again. I think we'll do better with shorter term groups. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you guys, because I really appreciate your transparency. And we know we need, because we do a lot of trauma work here, that this is one subset or one form of PTSD and trauma work. And so I know it's important. And right here in Teaneck, there's an armory. So we know there's vets around. So we're going to stay in touch. Well, we're going to try to send out email blasts, and put it on the media. And so we'll try to and maybe contact the area military posts just to let them know that we're doing this. So thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So it meant a lot.
Okay.
And back to you, Peter.
All right, Dr. Pam, thank you so much. We are always honored and grateful to have you on the Pulse. And folks, Dr. Pam will be back next year for more segments regarding her practice, so you're not going to want to miss it in 2026. All right, folks, join us next year for the Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.